Hello, you beautiful lot. How are you? Hola, bonjour, how doing? All that jazz. We are running a bit behind because technical issues is what I like to call it. Um, but I just think it's family meddling with my madness. How are we all? How's everybody feeling? It's good to be coming and talking on the back of 3 points and a win. Can't fault that at all. Buzzing and against Leeds, yes, of all teams, dirty Leeds back over the pennines with the tail between the legs and had a job done on them. I am so happy to be doing this preview tonight with two absolute legends. Brett, first of all, massive welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
How you doing, mate? How's things?
Things are lovely. It's really chilly up here on the shores of Lake Superior in Wisconsin. Um, this morning it was almost zero Celsius, so it's basically freezing here. And maybe an hour or an hour and a half away, we've had our first snow. So um, it's
Ooh,
uh it's chilling out. But you know what's not chilling out? Them Clarets. Let's go.
get in. Let's do this.
Absolutely.
And Andrew, how are you? How's things? How's life, mate?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, it's a little bit cold here, but not quite as cold as it is for Brett in it. But yeah, no, things are good, mate. Things are good. Thanks for having us on. It's good to see you after a while.
Yeah, after all the 10 minutes because my camera weren't working.
We'll
But no,
pretend none of
obviously,
that happened.
yeah, none of that happened. It never does. It's not happened at all. Right, let's get into the nitty gritty of it then. Brett, I'll come to you first. Give me your thoughts on that Leeds game because we were superb, weren't we, all over the shop?
Oh yeah, no, it was brilliant. I was saying to Andrew, before while the technical difficulties were happening, and
Those that
let it
never
be known
happened.
that it wasn't the American that caused the issue here. For once, it's not an American causing issues. Um, I was saying, I was in the middle of my kitchen, 9 a.m. and I was like, wow, Walker is just like absolutely rapid. He just feels on. Everything feels right. And I was like, long throw, the ball goes back to him, whips in that absolute peach of a cross. And Leslie, Big Ogachukwu, just absolutely blasted in. And I I started yelling in my kitchen at 9 a.m. making breakfast while my in-laws were in town. The sister-in-law and her husband and their three kids, and just absolutely beautiful. I thought Chauna's has to go down as a goal of the season contender, and potentially even Premier League goal of the season contender.
Yeah.
But I think what was particularly beautiful is that, not only do we not like dirty weeds, right? But uh, and so always love doing one over on them, especially with how cocky their fans were and that whole thing. But what it felt like that was very different about this this particular match compared to even Villa, um, it's that the belief, not only the belief was there, but it felt like we really gelled into that unit that we were like last season in the championship. Not only is Dubravka, pulling off great saves and things like that, but it felt like the pieces started falling into place. Whereas, we for Manchester United and Liverpool, it just felt like it always felt like something was gonna, the Cheeto was gonna break holding the lock. Whereas here it felt like we actually had a deadbolt on the game. And I couldn't see Leeds scoring in any way, shape, or form. No, it felt good. And I know people are screaming stats this, stats that, but the fact of the matter is we bossed the midfield. um eh, I mean, Leslie in that forward role feels really, really good. And Florentino, absolute, I think he might go down as signing of the season if Walker doesn't beat him to it. But Yeah, I was thoroughly impressed. I thought it was a brilliant match, and it felt very, very much like a complete performance. Did it scare me? Yes, but it scared me in the way that when Daishi was leading us, that's how it scared me. Like sitting on my hands, just but it felt like people were playing for each other, and um, it felt really good. It felt really good, honestly.
No, it did, didn't it, Andrew? I think obviously the atmosphere really helped. The fact that it's a battle of the roses clash, and the fans were really up for it. I think for the last couple of home games, fans have really been on, to be the 12th man at Turf Moor recently, and it paid
Mhm,
off, didn't it? I
mhm,
think, like I say, we set up pretty well, and Brett said it there. It had that elements of what Dash brought. We were defensively strong. Dubravka's pulled out some good saves. I mean, what did you make of the game?
Yeah, it's just going back to the atmosphere, like you said there. Like, I know a lot of people gave Alan Pace and the owners a bit of stick with switching people around in the cricket field end, and I can understand it because the view isn't as good for some people, and you've had season tickets in certain places for so long, and I can see it from that side, but I do think for the criticism, and rightly or wrongly given, it has improved the atmosphere at the turf. Now, I don't know if that's because of the movement or if that's, just in general, the atmosphere's improved this season, but it does have a different feel to it. And I think it was like that cauldron and when we went up under company and he said, I want you to make turf more hell. It
mhm.
almost felt like that's what we were trying to do for Leeds on Saturday. And I mean, the walking out in front of our fans in the cricket field end, who we don't mince our words in that stand, and
Definitely
we
not.
let them know what we think of them, and I think the atmosphere definitely had a massive impact on it, but the team overall, like Parker set us up tactically spot on, and
Mhm,
there's been criticisms of playing the five at the back, not playing
Yeah.
our best midfielders. Who's he going to play up front? Because Foster, obviously, although he has improved this season, he's still only scored one goal. We need
mhm,
someone to be putting the ball in the back of the net. Broja, the big money signings come in. He's not really done much. So there have been question marks over Parker's tactics. And I think on Saturday, he got it absolutely spot on. He played our best midfielder. That three in midfield with Cullen, Florentino, and Big Les, like that's our best midfield, and I think that
mhm,
helped us control the game. No, Brett said you look at stats, and you do look at stats, and on paper Leeds battered us. Like looking at the stats, they battered us. But you don't watch games with stats; you watch games with your
that's
eyes,
right.
and
We
they
do.
didn't really. I can think of maybe two or three chances that Leeds had. Um, but unlike Brett, I actually thought, shit, they're going to score one of these. Um,
Yeah,
but that's just
that's true.
because with Burnley, you never like we could be 4-0 up with 5 minutes to go, and you're still thinking, please hold on, I'll take a draw here. That sort of because that's what Burnley are like, and that's just so. I did feel like the goal would come in, but as soon as Tuna scored, what I will say is probably one of the best goals I've ever seen at Turf Moor,
Mm,
and it should be goal of the month. It'll probably be our goal of the season unless we score another screamer. Um, but it won't even be in the conversation for Premier League goal of the season
yeah,
because he plays in claret and blue.
that's
Um,
right.
but yeah,
Purple
just
potion, purple
purple
potion.
potion.
Yeah,
Sorry, purple potion. But
That's right.
as soon as he scored that goal, I felt more comfortable. And just again reiterating what Brett said, it felt more like a Sean Dyche performance. It felt like we were back to
Mhm,
the Burnley of grind out them wins, sit back. We don't have to have 55% possession, 60% possession, whatever it is. We get two chances and we make them count, and we're solid at the back defensively. I will say though, Brett, I do disagree with you that Kyle Walker and Florentino will be the best signing of the season
who are you going
because
for?
that number
yeah.
one in goal, pound for pound, has been the best bit
Yeah.
of business we have done.
Yeah.
Selling James Trafford for £30 million
Mm-hmm.
to let him get splinters on his bum at Manchester, while we've brought in one of the, I'm not going to say the top goalkeepers in the league, but one who probably be in the top 10,
Mm-hmm.
however old he is, for basically peanuts. And already up to this point, he has kept us in games. He's made saves. The two that come to mind from the weekend, if he concedes that one where it, deflects off his underarm and goes onto the post,
Yeah,
completely different game. If
No,
he if
100%.
he concedes that free kick, completely different game. And he, for
100%.
me, has been the standout star. But yeah, it's still early days, but I'm more confident this time.
Yeah,
yeah,
well, and let me just say too, I think pound for pound, Dubravka, I actually agree with you, is the most important player we could have probably signed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do love Florentino and Walker as well, so
Yeah. Well, and here and I wanna riff off one thing you said, Andrew, is that um there was one moment I was positive Leeds were gonna score. And then I saw who they passed to, and I have to say that my Americanness betrayed me. And then I was like, nope, not worried anymore. When Brendan Aronson got put on goal, I was like, oh God, whoever that is going to score. And then to Aronson, and I was like, I'm not that worried anymore. And then bada bing, bada boom. Next thing you know, because unfortunately, I've seen him do it way too many times for the U.S. So yeah, it's yeah.
No, I can only echo what you two have said. I thought we put in a very good spirited performance. I thought deep down, from front to back, we was on it. The best thing about it really was watching that Keeping the Faith episode today that came out,
Mm.
and I
don't
think
spoil it. I've not seen it yet. Don't spoil
all I'll say is
it.
you see a different side to Scott Parker that I wasn't expecting. A
Yeah.
sort of very well driven, that he understands the importance of how much these sort of matches mean.
Yeah.
And he does give it and tells them about it. It is quite insightful actually, and you get the Connor Roberts camaraderie as always.
Yeah.
So
Man,
that's always class.
Parker made me want to run through a wall after watching.
Yeah,
Uh, and from the outside, here's the thing: from the outside, and I think this is really important for international fans and supporters to understand, is from the outside, Parker looks like this super posh, and he does dress in some of the
yeah,
best
Oh,
clothes,
100%.
available to humankind. And he just looks clean cut. And then you realize there is this part of him. I mean, the guy grew up on a council estate, and
yeah,
and actually probably understands Burnley um, quite well in terms of what it means to actually work hard and grind. Yeah,
He had to. He,
it's
he had to do a lot of it through his playing career as well, though, didn't he? He had to work hard, and I think that's what a lot of people forget is where he came from in his playing career as well, and how he
mhm,
did have to work his way up. And he wasn't a nice player to play against.
no,
Your team going up against him, you could tell he was up for it, and he was a bit of a nasty, had a nasty streak, didn't he? So yeah, that it doesn't surprise me that he's because he comes across as this really nice bloke, like you said, with the nice suit and the
mhm.
£4,000 coat, which looks like a bin bag with tape strapped onto it. But
It's
and
true.
it's nice polished shoes and stuff. But it doesn't surprise me that he has has a streak like that, and I'm glad
Yeah.
that he's like that because you don't want your managers just sat there going, "Ah, it's only Leeds, don't worry about it." It'll we move on to the next one. You want them to emphasize that importance. So yeah, I'm glad of that. I need to watch that tonight.
to be fair,
Well,
that's one thing he actually says in there. I won't say too much, but he does actually say, I've sat where you have sat. I have been in this sort of. This is at the half-time part. It's like I've sat where you've sat. I know what we need to do now to essentially kick on. So he knows what to say and when to say it. That's the best thing. And speaking of people saying stuff, people have been talking in the chat. I mean, Lumbargo has said 2-0 Burnley, hoping that we get that win against Wolves this weekend. My missus is in and says reckons that Burnley have got this in the bag. Anthony, hope you're well. Phil, hope you're well as well. And apparently I look thirsty, so I must look really dried out. But just to say, I can make my own brew. I did. Let's not forget, we are Premier League, so we are Premier League. So yeah, I'm all right, and smile. I feel like one of them penguins on Madagascar. Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
That's right. Hey, everyone. No, you know what I love, and I think, especially Fitch, I don't want to, because I'm not in the dressing room, but I saw the some of we all saw some of the background details of Vincent Company and training and things like that, but look so calm and mild mannered, for the press. And what I was worried about with Scott and Parker is, he's so soft spoken. He's so, just calm, and everything is put together
His man
and well
management levels
drilled.
compared to Company are completely
It
off the
is,
charts.
it's completely out of this world. And there's a reason why Johan and J Rod and everyone wanted to have a mass exodus after we went down. It wasn't because we went down. It was because if this guy's staying on, there is not a chance in hell I will ever play for him again.
Yeah.
It-
Well, it spoke
yeah.
volumes, didn't it? 2 or 3 of them come back. Yeah, as soon as he
And then
left.
made us some money. And then made us,
Yeah.
Johan just leaves a couple weeks later. But I'm here for that. Because I think he was a proper servant of the club.
Yeah.
And he
Johan came
wanted
back,
to play.
scored a screamer, and then made us some money.
Yeah.
Like,
Come
what
in,
else
done
do
my
you ask
bit. See
for?
you later.
J-Rod scored a couple of goals for us, which turned out to be crucial at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And it's J-Rod. Like, did anyone want him to leave? Well, everyone knows my thoughts on J-Rod, and I'd still have him starting now for us. But
Well, let's go on then to some of the stuff that was said in the fan forum, because I mean, I was there, luckily enough. Didn't expect to be sat on the front row and see AA1. Like, I'm sure I wasn't the first name to accept the invite, but hey, it is what it is. But I thought it was very insightful what Alan had to say, and whether that were from questions from the floor, or what he said in general about when he was speaking to Scott, the presenter. I'll come to you first, Brett. What did you? Is there any certain points of that fan forum that stuck out to you that either got under your skin a little, or some that made you actually put a bit more respect on his name?
put him on the spot now. He's gone.
Boo. Oh, his sound's gone.
1 second.
Oh no, he's back. Oh, I heard you. I'll come to you then. I'll come to you then. What did you think, Andrew? Because I mean,
he's
yeah, I can hear you.
Hello?
I think. Yeah. You there?
Oh, I don't know. It's good. Now it's the American. I apologize.
You there?
Huh. Andrew, you go ahead.
Go on. Yeah, it's he answers questions well, doesn't he, Mr. Alan Pace? He I think it's interesting that a lot of the questions were, I'm not sure, but I believe you had to put the question forward beforehand, and they're like sort of vetted, so there's no.
No,
Were they not? No,
there were none of that. It was
Okay.
literally an open floor.
Yeah.
That's probably why when you watch it, there's 2 or 3 people ask the same question, but
Yeah.
basically with their own narrative, which I'm not going to pull Burnley fans about, but I just think that there was 1 or 2 there that had already heard an answer to certain questions, and still wanted to try and poke the man with an iron poker, and it was just a little bit difficult. We always are looked at as an old man's club. We've always been looked at as that of we don't like change. This is how it is. It's Burnley's the good old 4-4-2. Don't change anything. But we have to adapt, because, like we've seen in today's world, if you don't adapt, you essentially die.
There's some things. No one's going to always agree with everything. There's always going to be some pushback on different things, and I'm a big fan of Alan. I think what he's done since he's come into the club, he's made us a bit of a different club to what we were under Dyche. You look at the sort of players that we've brought in since Alan took over compared to what we were bringing in under Mike Garlick. That sort of development. You look around the ground, it's almost modern, not too modernised. We've still got our wooden seats, painted claret and blue rather than replaced them with plastic seats. We've still got that. We're at the end of a row of terraced houses.
Yeah,
we're still that little Burnley. Well, we're not little Burnley anymore, but we're still that little club that I grew up with.
Small fish in a big pond.
Yeah, but he's tried to bring a bit more of us into the 21st century, and no matter where you sit on that, you've got to understand that there's always going to be a bit of change, and I think that's obvious with what he's trying to do going forward. There's when I were a kid growing up, you used to be able to go around and see the players coming in and get pictures with them and get autographs, because they were all turning up in their mum and dad's cars and turning up in. Do you know what I mean? Like, you used to be able to do that, and then suddenly that went away. He's brought it back. All right, it's not quite as involved, but they brought back the chance for little lads and lasses to see the players coming in, get a high five off them. They have brought that little bit back. I think the thing that I found the most interesting though was the Champions League aim.
Yeah,
because I know that you mentioned it on here once, that he'd said it at one of the FAB meetings. Obviously, it was said on the Mission to Burnley documentary. He said it at last year's fan forum. And I think a lot of that were taken out of context of, I want Burnley to win the Champions League in the next 10 years. That's what I think people had taken it as. And I found it interesting that he's actually sort of expanded on it and said, look, I want it in the club's DNA. It might be long after I'm gone, after my kids are gone, my grandkids. I want to set the foundations of Burnley having a chance to win the Champions League one day. And I think because of all this, what's gone on with Espanyol, and you're seeing him and JJ Watt promote that a lot more, which obviously they're going to do, but it's almost like you're seeing your missus flown about with another man sort of thing. It's a little bit like, this is what you'll like with us, and now you're going and doing it with them. So it sort of eased me a little bit with that. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm still apprehensive about the multi-club ownership, but it has sort of eased me a little bit with that. Like, okay, there are still plans in place. They're not just going to drop us now and go play with a new shiny toy, which I do think I was sort of feeling like a few weeks ago.
You're not on your own. I think there were a good
I think
few
there's
people,
quite a lot
even
of
in that
people
room,
like that,
as well, that thought the same.
Yeah. But the one thing, because I know my dad was there as well, and I know that he didn't get to ask his question. So I'm a little bit like, well, the ones who didn't get their question asked, it would be nice for them to have a chance to submit. Do you know what I mean? It would be nice to have their if they've been invited along to that, and they were given the acceptance sort of thing. It would be nice for their questions to get put across. But it's one of them things where if Alan's open to doing it, people are open to going. It might start becoming a bit more of a regular thing. But nothing bad can come of having your chairman and your owners sit down with a group of fans and have them asking questions. Not surprised he didn't answer anything about his finances. If I asked you your bank balance right now, why would you want to tell me? Do you know what I mean?
I
Like,
tell you, mate, I've got about 59p, so don't worry.
but that, do you know what I mean? Like, I do understand
I walk
it.
past a vending machine, mate, and cry. That's how bad it is.
Oh boy.
But if people ask me like the finances of where I work and stuff, like I won't be going around telling them. So I understand it's a bit different with football. You know, we've all physically, emotionally, and actually with our own money invested into the football club. But we've invested by buying the shirt, a season ticket. Alan's put a lot more money into it. Like I understand why he don't want to tell us about the finances. That's fine. Leave that to him. As long as we've still got football on Saturday and Sunday, it's fine by me.
And I think that's what he said as well, wasn't it? That he mentioned, I will speak about the financial accounts from last term. He can't obviously speak about openly about this year until they get published
Yeah.
later down the line. But he's even said that no matter what you look at, we are financially safe. We are secure. We're not doing this the wrong way. We're not putting debt on. You know, all club has an ounce of debt on it. You know, and I think the one quote I think he said was, "How do you become a millionaire?" He says, "Well, you start off by being a billionaire, and then you buy a football club." So, you know, I thought he had a good metaphor there for. I think he said because it doesn't always make money. I mean, I know Brett, you've got your
Yeah.
points to make on things that Alan said. I mean, for me, one of them again was this playing games abroad and things like that. But yeah, tell me your thoughts on the fan forum. What
Yeah.
points did you pick?
First, two things. One, apology because the American did cause the last technical interruption, so I apologize.
Snow all
Um,
over the antenna. That's what it was.
that's what it was. Yeah, I was just going up to the roof to dust it off,
Big brush
actually.
letters.
It's just yeah, no. And second, I just want to say I just feel like I'm in the presence of royalty here with you. Seeing you on the fan forum, that was a
Oh, I'm
wonderful
not
thing. So
royalty. I'm
yeah,
not
no,
royalty. I'm
Burnley
Cinderella. The ugly
legend.
sisters get more exposure. I'm just Cinderella. Till someone
Yes.
offers me a glass slipper,
You are
I'm
one of Ugly Sisters.
I am.
But I do have thoughts, especially. You know, um, Pace is an American, and with that comes there's some mentality. With that, Pace is a businessman. I think there's a mentality that comes with that. You know, if I'm not, I don't know if it was J.P. Morgan or Goldman Sachs that Pace worked with, but that's one of the. Pace worked with some of the top hedge funds in the United States, which if
Yeah.
they're the top hedge funds in the United States, that means they're the top hedge funds somewhat in the world. So Pace knows money, and I think what was solidified for me at the fan forum is what I long have thought, and Pace's hope sometime down the road is that they will sell the club. Um, uh, you know, uh, I don't know if that's in 25 years. I don't know if that's in 30 years. It didn't feel like nothing imminent or anything like that. But the hope is to turn money, continue to get investment, and that Burnley is kind of the the jewel, the main jewel in the crown. Speaking of Louvres being robbed and all of that. Uh, I, no, it's like it was hard. I have a lot of thoughts, but I also just want to riff off what Andrew said. If it was really, really hard for to see, Pace, bought the club and Espanol, and then seeing JJ in the Espanol hat, and a tear went down my face. But then I also realized in that purchase, um, Burnley is a Premier League club. Um, and this is the same thing with your Brightons and your Palaces and your Man Cities, and the money is here. And so Burnley is kind of integral to that equation. And I'm no financier, but I understand that, he's splitting time and he's doing all of that. I think it's really, really fair. It hurts, but it's really, really fair. I think there's
Yeah,
something to develop at Espanol. Um, and I have a love for Burnley. I don't necessarily have a love for the Pericos, but now they are my Spanish, they're my La Liga team. So
Yeah.
I have a La Liga team to fully support. And so in that regard,
it's just a
I
shame they're
know
playing blue and white, isn't it? Really does
it
let us
is,
down a bit.
and they have a former bastard,
Yeah, they do.
freshly off from Blackburn. So um, that was a little hard, but Koleosha's there now too. Anyway, so with the Espanol stuff, I think I know Pace reads X. I know Pace reads Instagram. I know Pace watches things because he was ready. He was so ready to defend himself, and I felt so bad watching that. I do think Pace gets a lot of stick about um, not a lot, because as an American supporter, like following the club and following it since Johan came in, Goodmanson, and all of those players. So I've followed it for a decent amount of time, not nearly as long as you two. When Pace came in, there was a ton of anti-American sentiment, like
Yeah,
a ton, and and
yeah.
and understandably so. I'm not suggesting that it's not warranted. A lot of, I mean, look what the Glazers have done. I
Yeah, a lot
get
of people
I
put two and two together on a leverage buyout and
uh,
etc. etc. And
it,
is it going to go
it,
down that similar route? But I think we've been pretty,
yeah, no,
solid.
uh, honestly, um, I think Pace has proven it, and he said it, and this was the line. Um, everyone was worried that would liquidate. They're going to sell all of the assets, and what Pace has proven over twice now, and I think if it happened again, it would prove itself true again. We're going to have to sell some of the shiny toys, but
Mm,
it's not like he's not going to continue to invest. Um, so uh, that was, I think, really, really important. And I've always had the sense that Pace is really truly in it for the long haul. Um, yeah, 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 yeah. Other thoughts on the fan forum, uh, especially the finance comments. I do want to say very clearly, I agree with you, Andrew. I agree with you, like. The whole, I don't like the whole bedroom kind of like language that he uses. I whatever, but I don't think he has to show us, because they have to show us the accounts every year, and I don't think we need to know necessarily the nitty gritty, because it also puts them at risk in terms of when we go to bid on a player from, I don't know, any club. Well, if
yeah,
he says, "Well, we're gonna," and I thought he betrayed himself a little bit with the whole striker conversation. Well, I'm willing to spend 50 million quid on a striker if that's what it costs. We've just advertised to the world, like, if the player is right, we're going to buy it. So I don't want to ask Pace the questions. I
yeah.
just want to be surprised that we've spent 20 million quid on on Leslie Agachukwu or Armando. I don't know why we spent 20 million on Armando Broja, but
Yeah, I
I'm
agree.
happily surprised we spent 20 million on Armando Broja. Just
Can I
the
just
fact
say,
that
if Alan's happy to go spend £50 million on a striker, I know there's a young lad at Bayer Leverkusen. I can't remember what kit number, but it's called Nathan Teller.
Oh, I've
Spend
heard of
50.
him.
Go get, take 100 million, just whatever. Bring him home.
whack it on him. Yeah, and that's what I was wondering. I was like, why do we spend 20 million on Armando Broja when Tella's probably not, doesn't cost that much more?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but yeah. Yeah.
I know
Well,
that ship sailed, by the way.
It
I
did.
know it.
It
I
did.
know it
You
has,
never
but
know. You
It,
never know. You
oh,
never
I
know.
mean, I don't think it's yeah.
Time, time will tell. I think it depends what we do. The one thing that baffled me was
Mhm.
the question on, obviously, a few people had the worries about the Espanyol thing, as we've said. I think it was the fact that he was 4 playing games,
Yeah, yeah,
abroad,
yeah.
and I get it. I get what he was
Mhm.
trying to say. When I agree with him in the context he said it, that if it's a cup game or something, and it's like play it in a neutral ground or whatever, then potentially yes. But league
was it
games,
not
no.
like? Was he not saying it like almost like a pre-season friendly international tournament, which we do anyway?
Yeah,
Well, no, I
That's
mean he was
is
very
that what?
clear. He said
Yeah.
no friendlies.
No.
No one wants to
no.
see friendlies played.
No.
Yeah, oh yeah. He
But
said no friendlies play. Like nobody wants to. He even said, like we go away to Portugal. Not every fan's going to be able to come out here. Not
yeah.
every fan's going to basically be able to afford to do that.
Yeah.
The whole point of having home and away fixtures is so you've got advantage from both sides of the
Mhm.
both
Yeah.
sides of the pond, or wherever you are, wherever your grounds are.
Mhm.
So I think he was saying if it was in some sort of competition, etc.,
Mhm.
like this Super League, it doesn't mean they're going to leave the Premier League. It just means they want to build something that's financially better off for them than a Champions League. And it's just the fat cat's getting fatter, but
Mhm.
nobody wants that crap. Um, that's why
Yeah.
I sort of asked the question that I asked, because I wanted to take it away from the fact of people going, well, how much money have you got? Are you going to put this in?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I totally get what people are saying, that when they're coming out with these questions of, well, my family member's getting older, can you put a railing in and stuff like that? And it's like we've also got to take accountability for ourselves, that
Mhm.
we've got to look at ourselves in the mirror and go, I'm getting older now. Maybe I'm going to have to potentially move. I can't keep going up and down these stairs like I used to, mobility wise.
Yeah.
We can't just accommodate the one fan. And I'm not disrespecting anybody's question or anything like that. I'm just saying that we have to be real to the situation. Um,
Well, and can I say too to that point,
yeah,
Dan, is you know, as an American fan, supporter, whatever you want to call me, um, because I know there's actually some people would say if you're not on turf ever, you're not a supporter, you're a fan. I don't
nah,
know. I've had all these conversations, people saying I'm not, but I have been to turf anyway. I've seen match anyway, but
you've done more than
I,
Man United fans, mate. So trust me, that's
honestly, it's true. Also, City fans, but um, I'll shoot all of them: Chelsea, Tottenham, you name it. Uh, but what was so hard to listen to, and I think you scratched it right there, is you have the owner of a Premier League club in front of you,
yeah,
A- and the question, and don't get me wrong, I understand nostalgia, I understand all of this, but like, can we keep paper tickets? Like that is the or like to me it's and so I actually really appreciated your question, because it was kind of a breath of fresh air. Like what I want to know is what's changed for you, what have you learned going through these managers and owning a football
I
club
was
like
toying
this.
with that question because I was toying, do I ask that, or what have you learned? Because beforehand, yes, you've worked within, you've built a company based on finding the next, big thing, and you want to try
Mhm,
this AI scouting sort of system. But what have you learned since becoming an actual, owner of a football club? And I think it's
mhm,
the one thing that I think Alan could have said in regards to this person asking about paper tickets is that he said, "Oh no, it's the digital's the way that we're going." I think you need the words that he should have said, which he didn't at the time, was, "It's not on our heads that organise this. It's a mandated thing by the Premier League. It's the
mhm,
Premier League that want everything to go digital by next season. It's the Premier League that want to
mhm,
evolve how this happens. It's not a club situation." I mean, the club have been poor at sending tickets out, ticketing, communications, and to be fair, he held his hands up and said, "We have been poor with communication. We have been
Mhm.
poor with ticketing," and these are things that get brought up at every fan board meeting, and we challenge them and say, "Well, why is this happening? Why is it you can't order a pie? You can order a pie for half time, but when you go down to get it, apparently someone's already bought it and your pie's not gone. So now I'm out of pocket. What's all this about? The supply and demand's not there. There's lots of issues, but people were just, I think, trying to pick at Alan a little bit, and I really
Yeah.
felt for him. And I think he looked calm and collected, sat back in the chair, but I think he was also expecting that little bit of an onslaught from fans, especially
I
those that are just like, I've come here with a purpose, and that's I want
to
answers.
have my dig,
Yeah,
at you, for changing my football club. And I mean, I'll make this really short, but I know, and not to start like a little fire, but I know a lot of English supporters, Welsh supporters, hate what's happened at Wrexham. I know they're like the joke of, but can I like the community has benefited tremendously, and the football club has benefited tremendously, and honestly, I'm not just saying this. I think Pace would hope and dreams of kind of the publicity that Wrexham get in the States. You know, you talk about doing a cup somewhere else. I think they do like an Audi Cup or something in the States,
yeah,
and Tottenham did it. I think Pace would be all over that. I think he'd
yeah.
he'd be all over that. As much publicity as possible, get all the sponsors, do all the things, and tell the story in a remarkable way. And I honestly just feel really like grateful that this person has picked Burnley Football Club to do that with, because I mean and Garlic and the old board, I think they did amazing things. I'm very proud to support a club that was owned by people in the town. And I'm never going to forget spending £1 million on Dale Stevens and that calling that good for a season. So I mean, yeah,
It's
I
the
think
way
you're
they did
right.
it as well. Like you're
Yeah.
80 minutes into a game, and all of a sudden they announce a transfer, and you're like, "What? Why?"
Did
Yeah.
Dyche not announce it at his press conference the day before, though, as well?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he
Like,
he
said
did.
something
yeah,
the
I
day
expect
before, and
him
then
to
all
be
of a
done
sudden
soon.
during the game they
All right,
they
cheers.
put a video out of somebody signing a load of paperwork.
Yeah,
I'm like, what are they doing? This is the same transfer that we'd been after, what, 6 seasons prior to him actually bloody signing. It's like, what are you
Yeah.
doing?
and
It's
Yeah.
to add to the
madness.
top of it, he probably played less than 6 games for us.
Yeah,
Yeah. And,
yeah.
and did a and had a drunk driving offense in the middle of it, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
Oh,
And it was, yeah. Yeah.
made for Burnley Football Club.
Oh
Made.
gosh, just made for us.
So on to Wolves, another game that, to be fair, looking at the way they've been playing at the moment, they have been poor, and 2 points all season so far. It's just typical of Burnley to go to Molineux and give them their first three. I don't want to be negative, but it's just typical Burnley to do something like that. Andrew, I'll come to you first. We need to follow it back up with another 3 points again, don't we? And I know it's on the road, and you'll take a point no matter what, but we need to keep up with another
Yeah,
three.
we need a point. A point's the minimum we need on Sunday, but Wolves haven't been great. I were reading before I came on. I think I can never pronounce his name right, so apologies. But Chan and
Yeah,
Strand
Wang Ki
Larson,
Chan. Yeah.
they're both doubts for Sunday, which for me is exactly good news. Um, but yeah, we can't worry about other teams. We need to do what we can do. And obviously, we've had a run of really tough fixtures. Obviously, United, Liverpool, um, Spurs, City. We've played the big six, like teams in the big six.
Mhm.
But Big Six. We're finally in a run of back-to-back games where we have a chance of getting 3 points, and Villa, we were poor, but that was like the start of our run of a good, few games where we got a good chance. And against Villa, we were poor, but then against Leeds, we were absolutely brilliant, and we've got the 3 points there. We need to follow it up, and I'm quietly, not quietly confident. I'm quite confident we can get something because, like I say, Wolves have been poor. We did all right again. Well, we played well against Leeds. I think we're finally starting to find our feet in this league, and we understand, after we play Wolves, we've got Arsenal at home. So, the best we can expect from that is probably a draw. But we all hold our hands up and we'll probably lose that one because it's Arsenal. And
Yeah.
even if we hold our own for 90 minutes, they'll get a dodgy penalty in the 91st because that's what happens when we play Arsenal. Even if they're
Unless it's
offside, or
Koscielny at the back with his hands.
that's what I mean. Even if they're offside or they
Oh,
handball it, they still.
but if the grass is
Oh yeah.
Well,
not
yeah,
wet
that's
and it's
true.
just too long and
That is true.
yeah.
But yeah, we need to get something against Wolves, and I can see that being a big thing of Parker's build up for the weekend. Of look, lads, we've got Arsenal after that. Chances are we'll probably get nothing. But well, he probably wouldn't say that because it's not a professional manager to say that.
No,
But
I see what you mean in terms
but
of
it's
that.
like,
He'll be wanting to
yeah,
take why do we always quote Dash? But a game at a time.
yeah.
Mm-hmm,
But that's we always quote Dyche because that's what we can only do, and
mm-hmm,
Dyche and Parker are very similar to me at the minute, and like their approach to games and their mentality. And yeah, he'll be saying, "Look, lads, come on, game at time, chance to get our first win on away of the season, our first points away from home of the season." They're rock bottom of the league. They've been poor up to now. Come on, let's put a bit of pressure on them. And remember, come the end of the season, they could be down there. These 3 points could be absolutely vital. So yeah, I'm quietly confident, especially with a few injuries from them, and we're looking good.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, Chris is in the chat. He's a Leicester fan. He says, "You're not getting Ramsey back, by the way, at the end of the season. We are locking him away at the King Power and not letting him free."
Have you
And then
seen his
says,
goals?
"Our
Oh,
Lord Jesus
brilliant.
Christ, Sean Dash, indeed." Trust me, I went
Oh,
on
Lord Jesus Christ.
when Leicester's manager got sacked, and Dash was linked with a job. I went on to Chris's channel, and I hope you're well, Chris. And your show went all right earlier, but I went on there, and there were people in the chat going, "Is this guy Dash's agent? He's so far up Dash's arse, blah blah blah," and that's because how can you can't do anything but sell Dash as a positive
No.
person for what he did for Burnley Football Club.
But people forget as well, like a lot of people talk about, I put this on Twitter earlier talking to a Forest fan, like people say long ball football and he's just direct and that's it and that's all
That's
he
what
is and he'll
Nuno
just.
did.
Yeah, but
That's
the
what
But
Nuno
he
football
did
also
because he's got
pressed.
but
yeah.
the football
Nuno's
we
got a foreign
played
name, so apparently you can't slag him.
but the football we played under Dyche in the season we had Ings in the Championship when it were Ingsy and Vauxy and Kitely on the wing and
Yeah,
the
Michael Cartley.
but the football we played that year, the football we played the year after, football we played with Andre Gray, again, those 2 seasons, them 4 years, we played some superb football. Nice, on the floor, tiki-taka, knocking it around, all that stuff. Dyche plays with what he's got. After that at Burnley, he didn't have a right
Chris
lot.
has just said exactly the same as you.
Exactly.
He did what he did with the players he
After
had.
that, he didn't have a
Mhm.
right lot to play with. At Everton, he had peanuts to play with because they had
Every
peanuts
manager
to have.
before him has spent it.
Exactly. He's going into Wolves who play a certain style of football or have played a certain style of football with these technical. And I know we're going way off topic here, and I know that I've just said he's
I
going
hope he
into
ain't gone
Wolves,
into
but
Wolves.
That's what I'm saying. I know I've just said he's going into Wolves, but he's gone into Forest with these
If he is, then he's on a
complete.
scouting mission for one of our players, and he better keep his bloody hands off. Plus,
I
he's
can
got
tell you
he'll have
it'd
to get a
be.
private jet from Porto. I don't know how they're getting on tonight, actually.
No, I haven't checked, but yeah, like he's going into Forest with these technical players, and he can play a different style. And I know that we're meant to be previewing Burnley playing Wolves, and we're just loving Daichi at the minute, but
Fair
are they
play to
winning?
him. Forest are 1-0 up against Porto. Oh no, it's
But
at the
yeah,
City
like
Ground. It's not at Porto. It's not in Porto. It's at the City Ground.
so it's not that far to drive to Wolves at
Nah.
weekend then. But yeah, like I'm just saying, he's got a chance now to show he's a different style of manager.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He
So
is. I mean,
and
go on,
oh,
Brett.
go ahead. Well, I was just gonna say, I am in the workday, so I've carved out the hour, so I've got to hop here right quick. But I'll just put my Wolves 2 cents in. Um, I was really, really disappointed we didn't go after Tolo Akorade. I'm just
Yeah.
Arokodere. And I think it was one of those, I gotta trust the scouting department to just, you know, hit the right ones because man, he's been blanking everything. Here's the thing. If you look at, Daniel Farkas comments, we deserve to win because our stats were better, yada, yada, yada. And you go and you look at the Leeds Wolves game. I think it was a 3-1 match. Leeds won. Wolves had all of the possession, had all of the shots, had everything, and Farka just, they sat back and just nicked some off. And I hate the comments. Well, we should have. Well, you didn't. And and I'm here to say that Wolves are underperforming their stats, right? Which I think is stats are something that should inform how you approach matches, not oh look, we should have won because I'm here, I'm a part of the Dice religion, right? Like pragmatism, I'm here. As long as we win and draw matches and we stay up, that's great. Um, but I think we will go in there with all of the confidence. Um, they will come out and they're not going to have the belief. So I think Parker's actually going to get on them. We're going to nick that early goal. And I actually could see I could see a 2-0 just pounding of
I was
Wolves.
just about to ask. I was just about to ask what your score prediction is, but
Yeah, my
2-0,
score
I
my
would
score
take
is
that.
either 2-0 or 2-1. But I think, and Dyche would say things like this too. I don't think I don't think these have any belief in themselves, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't think you know what these players feel like. This feels like VK's Premier League Burnley team that we're coming up against.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
you watch Wolves, it's like, oh, we have all the possession. We're playing, we're playing well. I don't understand what's going on. What
You know them
matters
graphics that
is
you see
points
where
on the
it
board.
shows talent and then ability?
Hmm.
That's Wolves at the moment.
Yeah.
They've got the talent, but the ability just isn't there at the moment.
Hmm. And the
So
belief or the belief.
yes,
Um,
100%.
Be well. I got to jump
You
into this
too,
meeting. Love you all. Andrew, brilliant discussion. Love this.
Nice to meet you,
Sorry it's
mate.
in the middle of my workday
mate.
and
Don't
I
you
gotta
worry
go.
about it. Don't you worry about it. Really appreciate it. Thank you
Enjoy.
very much,
Take
Brett,
care.
and take care, mate.
Yeah, cheers. Cheers.
Cheers, bye. So yeah, I mean, how do you follow that? I mean, without giving a scoreline yet, we will get to that. I mean, how do you think we will set up going
I
into
think
Sunday?
it has to be the same team as Saturday for me.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I thought Fleming played really well up front against Leeds. All right, again he didn't score, he didn't get many chances, but I think he held the ball up really well. Um, you know, I maybe he'll change Brun Larson because I think he's a doubt. I think maybe that'll be a change that we'll see, but he has to play the same midfield. We have to play Les, Florentino, and Cullen. Yeah, I can't see there being much change in that team, other than maybe bringing Tuna in for Brun Larson, because obviously he went off with a bit of a niggle, didn't he? And Tuna came on and scored an absolute screamer. So you've got to reward that and you've got to give him a chance. But it's up to Parker in it. He might think of Tuna more as an impact player. He might decide that he wants to go back to his five at the back, but I can't see it. I think he'll understand, we got a good result against Leeds with that lineup. It's got to be the same setup, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, you'd like to think so. I mean, are you expecting any surprises, any surprise admissions if there is if there is a change?
Now, I have heard rumours that Mike Tressa is going to start in goal, but that's no. For me, there's no surprise inclusions. There's no, maybe Foster comes back in for Fleming. That might be, the only thing. If he doesn't, he might be on the bench. But apart from that, I can't see there being too many changes. Like I say, it'd probably be Brun Larson for Tuna. But apart from that, that there's no reason for him to mix it up, is there? There's no need for a complete change unless there's some
Nah.
injuries that are hidden behind closed doors that we've obviously not found out about. I don't think he's done his press conference today, as he'll probably do it tomorrow. We it being a
Yeah.
Sunday
Yeah.
game, so might find out a few more. If there are a few more injuries and stuff, or a little bit of team availability. But yeah, I can't see there being many changes.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I'm looking forward to a good game. It should be quite end to end, as you can now probably just see on your screen. Again, I point that way on that way, but on the other camera, it's that way.
It's there,
So,
mate.
yeah, it's easy for you. Easy for you. If I go like that from my camera, it looks like I'm looking that way, but on the actual live, it's that way. So I have to go opposite. I've got like a studio mode, and I've got the actual preview, and it's like, it goes the opposite way every time. But no, we are going to be doing a watch along of the game on Sunday, so please do tune in for that. Should be a good one, and hopefully, I think it might be. I think it will be actually the first game. Like I say, hopefully, it's the hope that kills you that we get 3 points on a live this season. So let's hope and pray. If not, then I'll just stop. I'll stop going live on the games that we should win. We might actually do something. Scoreline wise, then what you saying? How do you think it'll be? Brett's gone 2-0. I mean, I'd say I'm not far off following his prediction. To be fair,
I'm gonna throw a wild card out there, and how I like to
Ooh.
do that, and that I am a positive person, and I do think we're going to get 3 points. But I think Wolves are low on confidence at the minute. Um, for some reason, we do seem to play well when we go to Wolves, even when we've played them, in the Prem. Like I think we're against them that Chris Wood got a hat trick and McNeil scored a screamer, and
Yeah,
we won
yeah.
like 4-0 that day, and I think we beat them like 4-0 at the turf once or something. So that's it. I'm going for lucky number 4. 4-0.
I mean, why not off the back of a Leeds game like
It's
that? You know what? Sod it. Go for
we
confidence, mate.
we've
It's got
got
to
a
be
bit
done.
we've got a bit of confidence there, rock bottom and feeling low. Why not? If we step onto them and take the game to them rather than hold off and try to soak up the pressure, if we get an early goal, why not?
Why not, indeed? Why not, indeed? It's going to make for an interesting game, no matter what happens. I've got to say a massive thank you to Brett for coming in as well. I'm hopefully long term going to be having, like I say, a bigger Clarets backing on here, not just chatting to an opposition fan. I think people want to hear what Burnley have to say. Burnley fans have to say about the opposition, what we have to say about what's been going on during the week, etc. So that's sort of the avenue we're going down. So let me know if that's something that you're going to like going forward. We're going to end up on a few more socials that I took myself down from. I'm going to have to try and restart up again, but hey, it is what it is. So yeah, please do follow us, keep up to date with us. We will be doing a match review for the first time. Match reviews are also going to be starting. So Andrew, if you're free on Monday night, feel free to let me know.
Football on Mondays, mate. Football on Mondays.
See, I'm football on Tuesdays, so I'm screwed. But no, we'll sort something out. There is a match review coming on Monday. I'm tongue tied. Flipping heck. Yes, but there is a match review coming on Monday, no matter what. So please do tune in for that. We are going to be back with the watch long, as I say. So please do tune in. The missus just sending some love. That's just what I need. That and another brew because my mouth has gone dry now. So
thought you looked a bit parched.
I do. I can't get my words out. But yes, stay tuned. We've got lots to come. And thank you very much again for watching. Andrew, in fact, no, sorry. I've been really rude here. Andrew, let people know where they can check you out on social media because you do some fantastic work on with your graphics and stuff. I try to emulate it. It's not that great. I'm shit at Photoshop. I'm doing practically Canva templates. And I'm just like, nah, it is what it is.
YouTube, mate. Honestly, YouTube's your best friend. Like, I've learned all mine from that and just speaking to other people. And you are coming, like, your stuff is good, man. So, like, I've asked you advice on kit swaps and stuff, Anna. So, don't worry about it. But yeah, always Claret, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever. I've got it on back of my shirt. So if you see me at Turf, just say hello. Yeah.
Someone just taps and goes, hi. You're like, who the fuck?
Honestly, mate, the amount of people that do it now, and my missus is like, he's just said hello to you. I'm like, yeah, I know. I know.
What's that? I've always said, so who said it? I think it was my little girl. She said something along the lines of, "Oh, Daddy, I saw you on YouTube. Does that mean you're famous?" I said, "No." I said, "Until someone's bought Daddy a pant, he's not made it." I said, so it is what it is. But no, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. And people do please go check out Andrew's work. He's doing some amazing stuff. And I'm not going to lie, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up his arse, but I do believe that he should be working with a club. Hopefully Burnley Football Club, because that would be the dream, the bread and butter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think you're doing tremendous, mate. So keep up that good work.
Yes, mate, thank you.
Hopefully Burnley can keep up the good work as well. Like I say, Sunday, 2 p.m. We'll be live, I think 1:50. And yeah, we'll be taking you through the game. But until then, have an enjoyable rest of the week. It's nearly there. It's nearly the weekend. Enjoy yourselves and take care. We'll see you soon with another video.